I'm Luke and I live life for adventures. So subscribe and join me on my next epic adventure.
On this episode, we enjoy amazing scuba diving in the Maldives and set sail to cross the Indian Ocean. We experience terrible sickness and bad weather, but make it safely to Phuket, Thailand.
Today we are leaving Crossroads Marina. We've been here for a while. It's been an absolutely wonderful stay. Yesterday was Jade's birthday, so we ended up staying an extra night in the hotel, just celebrating Jade's birthday, her 30th. But today we're back to reality, back to the boat. Today we'll be leaving here, the crew's ready. We're just finishing some fresh water, and our provisions is waiting for us at the fuel dock. So we're going to leave the marina now, go around to fuel, load our provisions, and then we're going to get away from Crossroads Marina. We're only going to be checking out of the Maldives in 3 days time, so we got a day and a half, 2 days to burn, and we're really grateful. Crossroads Marina, I highly recommend it for anyone traveling through here. It is a bit more expensive, but it's way better. Speak to Jenny from Crossroads and John, the marina manager, and they'll look after you as much as possible. What you up to there, baby?
Filling with diesel.
Yeah, how much fuel are we going to take?
600 litres? Am I right?
Close, about 400.
Close.
Eugene left yesterday. He's flying to Taiwan, so that means it's me and Jade alone on board Genie. We've got 2 more days in the Maldives. We've just loaded fuel and provisions. We've covered our costs at Crossroads. It's been a fantastic stay there. We're going to go down to Guredu this evening. Going to anchor there, nice and quiet. We might do a dive tomorrow. There's a few things on Genie we need to sort out, and in the next 2 days we're going to be making passage to Thailand. It's over 1,500 nautical miles from the Maldives. The weather looks good, and we're going to get Genie ready to rumble.
So a lot of people were asking me before I left what you eat on board or when you're on for 15 days sailing. So I thought I'd quickly show you. We just had our provisions delivered, so you can see. Hopefully we can get through it all. Eugene ordered like 5 kilos of everything. And then we also have 2 big fridges. And you'll see in here, the boys actually still got loads left over from the original part of their journey.
Guredu Island. First impressions?
It's a lot more basic than Crossroads, obviously.
Yeah. Welcome to the real Maldives.
But I like it. It's cute.
It's very cute, actually. It's
quite archaic though. Like,
yeah.
It's quite old.
It has, again, that same thing that Marfushi has, where it has the tourists bit, dive centers and little lodges and inns, but also local people live here and work here, which I kind of like. I like the mixture. It's not just a local island, it's not just a tourist island, it's kind of a bit of both. And everywhere on the islands in the Maldives that we've seen, everywhere there's construction. People are building more modern looking buildings everywhere. So there's obviously an influx of a bit of money coming in, trying to support tourism, trying to grow companies. It's very cool, I like it.
This is just like the epitome of the Maldives right here though. We're like on an island. We're on an island which is like so poor looking. And then just across the water.
Yeah, just across over there
like
is a giant resort. Can you see it? A huge resort island right here. And then 30 meters away is like a normal island. Not sure what exactly this is, but I see it all over the Maldives. We've been told that it's Maldives chocolate, coconut and sugar, so I'm gonna have a try.
Is it good?
It's very sweet. It is exactly how you imagine it, coconut and sugar.
Can we try it? Oh, it smells good.
That's exactly how you imagine it. Do you like it?
Kind of. I can't explain it, but yeah.
It's like coconut
And sugar.
and molasses and sugar type thing.
It's pretty good.
Good morning from Sailing Genie. It's one of our last days in the Maldives, and today is definitely our last dive. What a dive. Wow, eagle rays, sharks, GTs, Napoleon fish, so much life. This is one of the best dives. Coca Latia in the Maldives is a must. Amazing. The dive, Coco Tehila, like it's a big domed reef, and you sort of come onto the reef at one side and sort of go down current and sort of ascent off the other end of the reef. And there's so much life. There's big-eyed trevally, GTs, blue-spotted trevally, Napoleon fish, grouper, all sorts of different species, including the big stuff like big grey sharks, white-tip sharks, and eagle rays. Absolutely fantastic dives. One of the best dives I've ever done. Nice and warm, easy descent, easy bottom timing. We did a sort of 38 or 39 minute bottom time, and then we averaged about 18 to 19 meters. It was a really easy, slow, beautiful dive. We are outside Hulu Mali, and we've come here to collect our passports and check out. Our agents have assured us that that has already happened, so we're just waiting for our agents. We're literally outside the harbor right here. We're going to go in, pick up our goodies, and get out. And it's pretty busy. Planes overhead, boats, big boats, small boats. It's a little bit more intense than what we're used to.
It's official. We have left the Maldives. We left Mafushi about 12 p.m. today, and it's now just gone 5. And it's been really nice. We've been sailing for a good few hours, but we've had really light winds, so we've just been flying the spinnaker, and the sea is really calm, but it's been so nice to have the engine off, and we've not been motoring. It's been really lovely, actually. Very excited. I'm really looking forward to just not having any signal. We've already lost signal, and I've not had signal all afternoon on my phone, and that's really nice, just to know that you're like completely away now. I'm a little bit apprehensive, like I'm a bit nervous about, you know, the remoteness of where we are or where we're going to be. We're not that remote just yet. But yeah, just being in the middle of the Indian Ocean is going to be quite scary. And really just, I'm more just apprehensive about anything happening to Luke, because he is really in control of the boat and I've got zero sailing experience. So we're learning, or I'm learning as I go along. Luke's being patient with me and teaching me well. This afternoon we went through all of the like safety really on the boat. Just try and lock that in my memory in case anything happens, but yeah, I know that Luke's taking a lot of precautions to make sure that we are safe and we're doing all the right things. So the weather looks good for the passage, so fingers crossed it stays like that, touch wood. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it and this whole journey and experience.
And we've had 2 days of pretty calm conditions, maybe averaging about 10 knots from behind us. Passage so far has been really nice, really calm. Jade has done really well settling into her role and her night watches. It's coming on 3 a.m. and she's just about to come onto her watch now. And I think we're doing really well. The boat's doing really well. We are somewhere sort of southwest of Sri Lanka, and we're averaging about 110, 115 miles a day, which is perfect.
It's 4 a.m. here on the boat. Luke's gone to sleep. He's very tired, and it's about time he caught up. I got up once with Luke. We had to take down the spinnaker, but other than that it was okay. But because we're not sailing now, the boat's like rolling around a lot, so just making it a bit more difficult to go down. But in general everything's going well. We're motoring at the moment, which is nice for my first watch because I don't have to worry too much about the sails, and I'm just trying to get into some good habits, I guess. Keeping a log. To be honest, everything's quite quiet at the moment, which I'm very grateful for. Hope it stays like this, but I'm sure it won't. So I thought I would quickly talk about the squalls that we had this morning. We had the massive squall off of the port side of the boat, which, as I predicted, kind of went round, crossed on the bow and didn't touch us. Luckily it was huge, probably a few miles wide, and it was dumping heavy. And then we had that really small one on the port quarter, which did hit us like I expected. So I woke Luke up. We didn't have to take the spinnaker down, it was actually like a really small squall. We just kind of rode it out, just made sure everything was locked up and secure, and then everything was fine. Luke went back to sleep, and just as he went down, it's probably about 20 minutes later, we got hit with a huge bit of wind. Really, we had a couple of things go wrong, which were my fault. Inexperience, and I think a bit of a, I wouldn't say freak out, but maybe a bit of a freak out. I was freaking out when the things started going wrong that I wasn't expecting to. It shook me a bit, I would say. I'm like, the rest of today I've been super on edge. I've been like majorly on the lookout for any squalls, looking at the sails constantly, and I just kind of very nervous. I've got like a lot of nervous energy. You go from this is like perfect conditions, absolutely amazing, and then suddenly the wind can just jack up a bit and you literally go from 0 to 100. Probably from my perspective, being quite inexperienced, you're never gonna hear that side of things from Luke. It's a very normal thing for him, but for me it was quite eye-opening. And the biggest thing probably was that the mistakes I made led to us and the boat being in danger. The spinnaker ended up in the water, and we were lucky, really lucky, that it didn't end up in the prop or something like that. So it's a very humbling experience, I have to say.
We're about to get absolutely smashed. We're both not feeling great still. Here comes another one.
So we're just experiencing our first real big squall of the trip. I don't know if you can see it on the radar here. So you can just see the size of that squall that just hit us now. That was pretty intense. That was ridiculous. Huh?
Oh, yeah, when you're done.
No, you do it.
What are you doing there, baby?
Okay. Getting
What's
used
happening?
to these squalls now. We're in like 45 knots of wind and rain.
Talk loud.
It's maybe like the 5th squall that we've had today. What do you think? And they just keep coming. I'm kind of used to them now, so Luke's handling it well.
These squalls that we're facing go between 40 and 55 knots. Thank God they're all sort of going to where we're going in the same direction as us, west to east. But it's amazing the velocities, how they change. We had sort of 12 to 15 knots all afternoon, then this is well over 50 knots now. It's a really dangerous situation if you have too much sail up. So if we're flying the spinnaker or you're flying a full main or something like that and you get hit like this. I must admit Jade's been really good at sort of monitoring the squalls. If I'm downstairs or I'm not looking at the radar, and she has a quick look and she keeps warning me about it. And she's been pretty spot on every time. But the weather sucks.
If you want to see what a squall like that does to the cabin, all of our stuff is everywhere. It's day 6 of being on passage, and we've got less than 1,000 miles to go, which is it's nice to have got under the 1,000-mile mark. But the last couple of days have been pretty tough. Luke and I are really sick. I don't know what's wrong with us. And then to top it off, the last couple of days we've had kind of 50-knot squalls. So it's been absolutely brutal. I think we both just want to feel better. At the moment we hardly even see each other. He's either sleeping or I'm sleeping, and we just get a few hours at a time. But Luke's managed the squalls really well. You can see the conditions that we've got here. I don't know if the camera really does it justice, to be honest. It's really not been an easy few days, and the problem is when you feel like this, you don't even want to. Well, it's just so difficult to even look after yourself, let alone try and look after another person. Yesterday Luke made us like a huge bowl of mashed potato just to try and get some carbs in us.
Sure. I just want to explain what's going on. Jade and I have been really sick for the last 3 days, and we've had some really strange symptoms. It sort of kicked in 4 days into our 3.5, 4 days into our trip. Our symptoms are really strange. We have chronic fatigue, aching and paining of our whole body, severe headaches, a terrible taste in our mouth, and the lack of taste, it tastes like metal. The lack of sleep, lack of food, we just can't eat. We've only had a couple of bowls of cereal in the last few days, and we, on a boat, it's already so hard on a boat, physically and emotionally, and on passage like this, it's just brutal. And when you take your energy and you cut it into thirds, It's intense. I feel sorry for Jade because this is her first passage ever, and this must be savage. I mean, I'm struggling and I've done this a lot, but she's soldiering on. I'm so proud of her. She's amazing. So we're facing lots of bad weather, lots of squalls, lots of wind. But we're getting it done. We're about 80 miles, 100 miles south of Sri Lanka, and we are getting blasted by squall after squall. And it hasn't been brilliant, but with this much wind behind us, we have been making great passage. I think we're going to do another. Yesterday we did a 130-mile day. I think today we're going to even do more. We're a little bit tired and a bit wired, but it's going okay. I'm flying a 4th reef in the main, that's all. And we're almost going dead downwind, heading almost easterly. And there's lots of squalls around us. The sun is setting, and it's been a little bit of a rough day.
How are you enjoying your time on the boat?
How am I enjoying my time? This has been a strange trip for us. Well, strange trip for me because it hasn't been very enjoyable. The sailing part of the trip has been pretty easy and boat's done fine. Weather's been a bit average. But we've been very sick for a large part of this trip, so it's been horrible, actually. We're about 3 days away from Phuket. We're just coming into sort of the gate between the Greater Nicobar Island and Northern Sumatra, trying to cross our way into the Malacca Straits. We're very low on fuel, but we've had some good winds last night and today, but it's very rainy and very squally. Oh, I got a fish!
Seriously? Yay!
Tropical yellowtail. Back you go. Well, behind us is an FAD, a FAD, a fish attracting device. Sailors find them in these areas. Fishermen leave floating objects like this in the sea. And what happens is, if anything floating for a long time in the sea creates a lot of sort of barnacles and everything that attaches to it, the smaller fish sort of seek shelter underneath it. It also creates a shadow in the water, in open water like this. So the smaller fish seek shelter underneath it, and then the bigger fish sort of feed around it. So it becomes a bit of a hot spot for fishing the longer you leave something like this drifting. And they'll have multiple fads all in this area, and they'll keep track of where they are. It is marked, it doesn't say fad, it's got a picture of a tuna on it. That's the deal here.
Top 3 things that I'm most looking forward to about being back on land. First one is showering. We do shower on the boat. There is a shower, I guess, in the toilet that we can use, but usually we shower at the back of the boat. I feel filthy at the moment. I've got like a dreadlock growing, I think, at the back of my head, so I need to sort that out as well. Number 2 is meat. We threw away all of the meat and everything that was on board the boat after we got sick, because we weren't sure what it was that made us sick, and we think it could have been something to do with the freezer and the fridge going off and on constantly. Yesterday we found a can of mystery meat in the cupboard, which was not good. Number 3, having to put your food down on the counter and hoping it's still going to be there when you come back to it. I really am looking forward to that. Going to the fridge and getting the milk out and turning around and knowing that your cup of coffee or something is still stable, that's going to be a really nice feeling as well.
Well, we've made it to Thailand. Land ho behind us. Thailand, Phuket, 15 days at sea, and we've done it. Very exciting times. How's it been for you?
It's been a rough 15 days. I'm glad to be coming to land. Very excited about that.
We're very excited to be in Thailand. It's been one for the books. It's been a tough one, but happy to be here. Hey, well done. Pretty narrow entrance coming in here. It's a big mangrove in a bay, and we have these wooden pylons that we have to keep to our port side. And it's really narrow. It's probably 5 to 8 meters on either side of the boat, and it's a bit windy coming in. It's not an easy entrance, but we're weaving our way in here. It just takes a bit of experience.
Let me show you on the chart bottom. This is what we're going through currently. We are heading onto land.